Hello, I'm David Glenn, STEM Specialist in New Hanover County Schools. STEM is our acronym for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. And today we're at Coddington Elementary School for our STEM Spotlight in January. Miss Tisa Freck was nominated because she's incorporating STEM practices into her classroom, even though she's teaching 4th grade reading and social studies. It's really interesting to see her integrate that kind of STEM practice into her lesson. So that's what we're looking at today.
Ms. Freck's a model STEM teacher because she's not what you typically think a STEM teacher is. She, for us, teaches language arts and social studies, and most times you view it as in the math and science field. In her previous role, she did a lot of technology for us, and so she's been able to integrate that into her language arts and social studies lessons to really bring that content to life and increase that engagement. More than just kind of having the book and looking at the history, she integrates the technology to bring the world to us, because we're not as fortunate to be able to go out and access the world like we could if we could travel, if we had all the unlimited funds in the world to do it. So she brings that aspect in to really make it an engaging concept for our kids.
I love teaching reading and reading novels to our kids, and then following that up with the informational text from our North Carolina background. With social studies, it's hard to make it like science where the things are hands-on. I can't pull out a box of artifacts necessarily and have that engagement. And so integrating the technology into our language arts and our social studies is a way to help make that more engaging and make it more memorable for our kids. So I balance my ELA and social studies and STEM time by integrating a lot of those subjects together. So one week we might focus on just the research part of it and the taking notes and the learning the background information. But then the next week we'll find a way for them to apply those skills.
We learn stuff in a fun way, and in other classes they usually use paper and pencil in their classes to learn stuff. And sometimes in this class I love the STEM activities because they're fun and we learn new things.
One thing that helps with the engagement level of my students is history can be a lot of traditionally like book learning, and you just read about it and memorize facts. And when you do STEM in a social studies classroom, it gives them more opportunities to develop a deeper understanding of the topics that we're talking about. If they design their little field trips, then with the little Ozobots that we're doing this week, then they're going to remember that a little bit better than just memorizing a few facts, taking a test, or doing a quiz.
Fellow teachers could take from Ms. Freck that it doesn't have to just be a math and science teacher to do STEM. It does require you to be very flexible in your instruction and thinking about how you're planning. And it's got to be very creative. You got to think outside the box a little bit to figure out how can I integrate some of those. So just being confident enough to know that their content can be used in different ways than just the model that we're used to seeing.
One thing I'd like to say about teaching STEM or science or social studies is that our kids do need these skills. Each week we do a scholastic news paper, and with vocabulary they have the week in review, and a lot of the things that they hear about in the world are definitely related to our social studies and science, and learning about our past is something that will help us improve our future, and teaching them now to understand and comprehend and evaluate things that they hear in the world around them will help them be better North Carolinians in the future.